Hello, everybody. I am Tony Gillespie here with you from the Village Folk. And today we're going to try a new segment that I like to call Memorabilia Monday. Each Monday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a piece of memorabilia from my personal collection from the vaults. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to try to show you the history, share with you maybe some of the history behind the artist, behind the memorabilia. So today, for the first segment, we are going to do a signed guitar by Josh White Jr. Singer, songwriter, and activist Josh White Jr. was born in New York in 1940. He was the son of famous folk musician and folk blues musician Josh White, who was very prominent in the folk scene. Josh White Jr. began actually performing with his father when he was only 4 years old. So he's been in the music industry for over 70 years at this point, as he's 77 right now, and he's still active on the scene. In 1945, Josh White Jr. had his first performance on the radio where he appeared on Oscar Brand's Folk Song Festival. He sang at that point with his dad playing guitar accompanying him, and he sang the song One Meatball, which Josh White Jr. actually on stage has said that's probably been the song that he has sung the most in his career. In 1949, Josh White Jr. He became the youngest actor ever to win a Tony Award. He was in a play with his father, and he won a Tony Award, so that's pretty impressive too. Over the years, he has carved he's made his own way. He's had over 27 albums, solo albums. He's performed countless times, thousands of times in colleges and things like that. And he's made quite a nice career for himself. Now, when I saw him was in October of 2017 at the Oscar Brand tribute concert in Rockville, Maryland. So the Oscar Brand tribute concert, my friend Jeannie Brand, who is Oscar's daughter, actually invited me to come to the concert, and of course I had to be there. So I bought tickets right away, front row center. I was the first person to get in and get concert tickets. So I was super excited about the concert. The Rockville, Maryland, the venue is pretty close to the D.C. area. So my family and I went a couple of days beforehand. We went to D.C. and did some sightseeing things and things like that. The day of the concert, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to go and get us some breakfast. So I go down from the hotel we're staying. I go down in the lobby. When the doors open, I walk around the foyer, and I look over into the breakfast area, and Josh White Jr. is sitting in the breakfast area eating breakfast. Now, I get starstruck very, very easy. So when I saw him, I panicked. I was like, I don't know what to do. It's Josh White Jr. I was so excited because, it's Josh White Jr., right? So I went ahead and I just went right past him, and I went out the doors, and I went and I drove, and I got us breakfast. We didn't have the breakfast there at the hotel. I went and got us some breakfast. And I came back, and the whole time I was getting breakfast, I was thinking, okay, when I get back, what am I going to say to him? Am I going to approach him, or I'm just going to leave it alone? Well, I decided I was going to talk to him when I got back, but when I got back, of course, he was already gone. So I was like, that was a missed opportunity. But I thought, well, I'll get a chance to see him tonight at the concert, so I'm not too upset about it. So later on, I was meeting a couple of friends of mine. I was supposed to meet some friends of mine. One of them came to the hotel, and we were sitting in the lobby, and we were just chatting about things. And that's when we realized that this hotel is where all the musicians were staying. Well, I kind of had an inkling that that's the way it was going to be, but we found out really quick when the Limelighters came past, and Dave Buskin came past, and Paul Prestipino came past. We saw John Pickow, who is Gene Ritchie's son. All of these prominent folk musicians were just milling around, and we were right in the center of it all. And some of them stopped and talked to us, which was great. The Limelighters were great. Paul was great. We spoke to many of them. But then through the door comes Josh White Jr. And I look at my buddy and I nudge him. I said, look, look, look. And he said, who's that? Who's that? And I said, it's Josh White Jr. So my buddy Ray, who was with me, he goes over and he actually introduces himself and brings him over. And at this point, I'm panicking because it's like, oh my God, I'm face to face with him. Of course, I got my nerve up and I started talking to him a little bit too. And he sat down and he spoke with us and he signed my friend's guitar and we talked. He actually played my friend's guitar, and he talked to us for a while, and it was so exciting. Now, I think the reason it was so exciting for me is that Josh White Jr., he didn't just talk to us, he spoke with us. He is such an amazing, kind, compassionate. He listened to our stories. He talked to us about things. He answered our questions. He was so down to earth. He was so engaging. He's such a beautiful, beautiful person, and it's an experience that I will never in my life forget because it was such a touching moment that we were able to share, and I'll never forget it. So, but at that point, still didn't have the courage to have him sign anything for me. Later on, after the concert was over, there was a meet and greet with everybody, and I went to that. But Josh White Jr., I saw him kind of leaving, and I could tell. I could tell he was. He'd been up all day. He's older, and he was worn out. He was beat from the day. So I grabbed a different friend of mine, Eric, and we went over. I said, we gotta, he's leaving. We gotta go and we gotta talk to him. So we stopped him, and he, again, even though he was wore out, he was still gracious. He stopped. He talked to us for a minute. He signed my guitar, which you'll see back here, and you've seen in the still pictures. He signed an album for my friend. And actually, he signed 2 albums for my friend, one of which Eric gave to me, which I appreciated because I wasn't going to ask Josh White Jr. for 2 autographs. I was a little bit too shy for that. But he still took the time, even though he was extremely wore out. He still took the time to stop, sign our things, talk to us for a minute, and gracious as ever. And it was a night and a moment, and especially the night as a whole was something that I will never, ever forget. And so that's my story. The first Memorabilia Monday is in the books. If you like the story, hit the like button below. Think about subscribing if you haven't. Tell your friends about us. We're going to have plenty of more content. And if you're not a member of our Village Folk page on Facebook, the link is in the comments. Come on over and join us. We have plenty of memorabilia and stories and things that we talk about over there. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.